You startled me. You wanna go practice? You think you're pretty sneaky, huh? You silly. Come on, let's go play. From what I've seen as a music teacher, it would seem that a lot of people are scared of metronomes. Or maybe it's more likely that those people think the metronome won't make enough of a difference in the practice room, and so they don't want to bother with using one. Those people are wrong. In my experience, they are those same people who tend to practice ineffectively and too often experience slow, lackluster progress. If you are the person who experiences frustration with your slow progress in your practice sessions and you want to do better, the metronome can be just what you need. In this video, I'll explain some methods for how to use a metronome effectively so that you can correctly and quickly meet your practice goals. Different metronomes have different functions, but some common features will include time signature, or that is beats per measure, tempo, or speed, beat accents, that is emphasis, shown here in red, and subdivisions. Take some time to get familiar with these functions so that you can set them up correctly for your practice sessions. For example, if your piece has 3 beats per measure, you wouldn't want to use a metronome that is set up to play in 2 or 4, and likewise, you wouldn't want to use triple subdivisions when the music calls for subdivisions of 2. Figure out which features your metronome has, and change the settings to fit what you're working on. Now that we're all set up, let's get to practicing. One problem that I see a lot with beginning players is that the sound their instrument makes does not line up with the pulse the metronome is dictating. Watch out for that. Don't make the mistake of turning on the metronome and simply letting it run without paying attention to the pulse. The whole point of it is to make sure your sounds line up with the timing that the metronome provides. Over time, it will become like second nature. You will want to follow the pulse of the metronome, and you won't even have to think about it. At that point, your practicing will really take off. Hey, psst. Do you want to play faster? Of course you do. Everyone does. Metronomes are extremely helpful with this. Step 1. Set the tempo so that you find the passage of music easy to play. Step 2. Increase the speed little by little until you find the speed where you're making mistakes. Do not increase the speed in big steps. You need to find the speed where it is just barely too fast. Step 3. Once you've found the speed that is just barely too fast, back off the speed a tiny bit to where you can successfully play the passage, but it feels like work. This is the sweet spot. Your mind and body make their fastest and best improvements at this speed. Write this speed down in your notebook so that you can reference it later. Now all you need to do is repeat steps 1 through 3 in your next practice session, and in the practice session after that, and the one after that. If you have correctly followed the steps, you will get better and faster. That's a Gruber guarantee. Here's the real trick though. You have to make sure that you never settle for bad tone or for playing out of tune. At every speed increment, you are making your performance more permanent. So make sure you are always playing super clean. The strategic use of a metronome is one of the best and easiest ways to make quick progress in your practice. In short, don't be afraid of it.